The last few days we've been exploring the battlefields here at the Somme. Well, today we're still here at the Somme, but we're here to talk about something away from 1916 and in fact the entire Great War. We're here to talk about something that still affects this area today and has done every year since the Great War ended. That is the iron harvest. The iron harvest is the annual collection of unexploded ordnance. That's artillery shells, bullets, grenades, mortars, all sorts, that is taken out of the ground here by farmers ploughing the land every single season. So here at the northern section of the Somme, we're just near the village of Serres. The British front lines here ran behind me up in this direction, and we've done videos here before. Our Horace Isles video was just here. This is where the Leeds Pals attacked from, and just here, no man's land would have been here in this direction, the German lines over here and the British lines just behind us. And right here, just by the side of the path as we are walking up here, is a Stokes mortar. Now, with all of these things, you have to be very careful, so I'm not getting very close to it, but you can see it just down here on the ground behind me. If I turn the camera a little bit, you better get a slightly better look at it. So just here in the grass, this is a British Stokes mortar. You can see somebody has found it, probably the farmer here, and that is painted orange. That's to identify where it is, so that when the teams come to collect it, they can spot it and they will take it away and dispose of it safely. This could potentially be live explosive, which is why we're not going to get any closer than that. But that is just here by Serres, one of the numerous things lying around the battlefields here at the Somme. It's estimated that during the Great War, nearly a ton of explosives was fired for every square metre held here on the Western Front. Now, as many as 1 in 4 of those shells didn't detonate, which meant they were in the ground, swallowed up by the mud, and stayed in the ground for years after the war. Every spring and autumn, when the farmers plough their fields here and across through Belgium as well, they come out of the ground, sometimes in a very dangerous way, sometimes explosively. And sometimes they're pulled out of the ground when a plough crashes into them, they hear the clang, there's no explosion, but there is still a live and potentially deadly shell left in the ground. As time passes in places like this, we're in the field just outside of Serres at the northern end of the Somme battlefield. Construction work continues, and in this area in particular, farming work, ploughing, and just time naturally brings some of these things to the surface. And they're found every single year all over this area, right the way from here across France and Belgium as well. Most of the iron harvest is found in the spring and autumn ploughing seasons, both here in France and up in the Flanders region of Belgium around Ypres. The farmers collect the ammunition that they find from the ground, whether that's artillery shells, bullets, bombs, grenades, even old reels of barbed wire, and they leave it in kind of pre-arranged places for authorities to come up and pick up, take away and dispose of safely. Now, when you come to areas like this, quite often around farmers' fields, you will see things like this. Behind me here you can see this stick with orange paint at the top of it. Now, the orange paint signifies an area where there could be some explosives or live ammunition. Now, there actually isn't anything here right now by this post, but the authorities will come along, they'll check a place like this because it's kind of pre-arranged that the farmer ploughing these fields behind me, if he finds something, he's going to leave it here by this orange painted post. That's how it works all around here. It's crazy really, but that is how the farmers live here. Every year, every spring, every autumn, they crack on, and it's an everyday occurrence to them. Now, despite the age of the ammunitions that are being pulled out of the ground here, they still remain really dangerous. And in fact, since 1946, 630 disposal workers who take care of these ammunitions have been killed doing their job. It really is still quite dangerous. And so when we find things out and about on the ground, it's really important that we're careful. There's a temptation to pick them up, examine them. Do not do that. Don't go too close to them. Take a photo from a safe distance, leave it where it is, don't touch it, it's just not worth the risk. As recently as 1998, 2 workers were killed just outside Vimy in France whilst working on disposing live ammunitions. And as recent as 2014, 2 Belgian construction workers were killed going about their work doing construction when they inadvertently came across an unexploded artillery shell. Just here on the Somme battlefields, in these areas alone, the experts who work on this think it could take up to another 500 years for all of the live ammunition to work its way out to the surface and for these areas to be declared totally safe. Now, when I say safe, it's not dangerous to come here necessarily. You can still explore and you can still see things. You just have to be sensible. Provided you're sensible and respect the dangers of these things if you do find them. And let's be honest, it's exciting when we find them, right? For the farmers here, it's an everyday occurrence. For us, you come here, find something like a Stokes mortar. It is exciting, and we just have to be careful. The one I found earlier, I didn't go too close. I took my photo and I left it where it was. So just still out here on our travels around the Somme, and to show you again how frequently you see some of these things, we're just outside the village of Courcelette, and in fact this is the Courcelette British Cemetery just behind me, and right here just next to the road, nearly close enough that you could have accidentally driven across this, is an artillery shell. And again, I'm not going to get too close to it, it could be dangerous, but I'll get a slightly closer look so you guys can see. So here you go, just sat in the field here, just outside the village of Courcelette. The village of Courcelette is just over there. And here we have an artillery shell of some sorts right here. It's obviously come out of this field ahead of us where the farmer is proud. There's a good chance that the farmer, crashed into this with his plough and just chucked it over here, again, with it being an everyday occurrence for them. But there it is, right next to the roadside here. So just slightly further along from where we were, just got these bits of some kind of shrapnel. Certainly less dangerous than the explosives, but nonetheless just an example of the type of stuff that comes out of the ground here all the time. So we're just over at the Ulster Tower. We're actually here doing a video about something else, but outside the front they have all of these shell cases and numerous other bits, barbed wire and tools, all sorts which have come out of the ground on the battlefields around here. Now, of course, this isn't just in one season, but you can see the amount that comes out of the ground here all of the time. So look, I hope you guys found this video interesting. Something a little bit different, right? Rather than talking about 1914, 15, 16, 17, 18, we are talking about modern day history and how the Great War still affects the people of this area every single day, every single year. Really interesting. The iron harvest across France and Belgium. Guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, do me a favor, do all the usual YouTube stuff for me. I'm putting it here on the screen. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Make sure you stick around and check out the future videos right here on the channel. Thanks for watching. I'm going to see you on the next one.